Hello everyone, my name is Bardock, and today I'm going to teach you how to successfully behemoth in the best way to do it, or the easiest depending on how you look at it. First up, I am in this hunt, I am playing the Bard, so I'm playing the healer role. It is typically best to have each person know what they're trying to do, and go in with a plan and good communication. The easiest way to make sure you clear the quest is to have a tank, a support, and 2 DPS. The support, typically speaking, goes Hunting Horn or Sword and Shield just for ease of access to items and things. I've been doing it recently with a light bowgun, that also works. Just anything you can put away relatively quickly so you can get to items and maybe save your friend when they get caught in an attack. As we head into Area 1, the easiest thing to do is to sleep him under the rocks. The rocks do 1,750 damage each. There's 2 rocks, and if you're either lucky or skilled enough, you can sleep him under both. That's 7,000 damage. Typically speaking, though, he'll leave pretty quickly after you do 1 sleep rock. This room is a damage threshold, sort of like Xeno'jiiva. So as soon as a certain amount of damage is met, he will just heck off to the next area. So there's 2 different paths that Behemoth can take. Out of the second room, he can either go down to the Teostra area, or he can go to Nergigante's area. The only determining factor for this, as far as I know, is the amount of part breaks that you get. Typically speaking, 1 to 2 part breaks will make sure he goes to Nerg's area, which in my opinion is the easier room. So as I said earlier, the best thing to do is to have everybody go in with their role. I'm using the Hunting Horn, so I'm the support, as you just saw me top off health right there. Draydand is using a heavy bowgun with 3 shield mods and guard up. So he is our quote-unquote tank, even though he's not using a lance or any other weapon that you would typically associate with being tank. And then Tox and Mr. Sound are our DPS. Tox is on mounting duty since he's using the Insect Glaive with the Draken armor. So he's doing increased aerial damage, and he's also helping stay out of everybody's way. Sound is just doing sound stuff, being a CC god, whatnot. We've already broken both horns here, so we're trying to break the claws. We've already met the requirement to go to the Nergigante area, so we're just trying to deal damage. As far as comet placement goes for the Ecliptic Meteor, typically what I try and do is if they're on me, I try and put one in the north part of the room, the east part of the room, the west part of the room, and the south part of the room. So for the majority of the Ecliptic Meteors, they come down almost dead center of the room on the map. So it's always nice if you have one in each area, that way nobody gets caught out. Also, if he's ever standing near one, you typically want to avoid that one. Because when he comes down after casting Ecliptic Meteor, he will bump you out from behind the rock. We've had it happen several times. It happened in one of the earlier recordings for this video. That one didn't make it in because, you know, for that reason. The set that I'm running actually has sluggers, so I'm helping Mr. Sound get KOs. He's spamming sticky ammos on the Behemoth, but, I mean, as far as this group goes, everybody knows their job. So there's a problem with Behemoth as far as I'm concerned. If you deal too much damage too quickly, he won't drop as many comets. As evidence in this room, he only dropped 2 instead of the 4 he's supposed to drop. So if you space out your DPS, you have a better chance of getting more comets. But that also means that the fight goes longer and maybe somebody gets caught, or the healer's having to burn more health items. This next area here, in Nergigante's first area, he actually drops 5 comets because we staggered out the damage a little bit better. So that gives us more opportunity, more stuff to hide behind, stuff like that. As far as this hunt goes, we didn't really need a tank. As far as the Behemoth hunt goes, you really don't need a tank if you have somebody who's on top of CC like Sound is here. He's gotten 2 sleeps, 2 paralysis, 3 KOs, and yeah, he's just doing a bang-up job for us. Right here, Festalt gained the immunity of Behemoth with his shotgun build on the Glutton Heavy Bowgun. He is keeping... So Festalt has just grabbed aggro, and what that means is he's got Behemoth's immunity. So, just like an MMO, he has gained aggro. Behemoth is only going to direct his attacks at Festalt. So at this point in time, what I have to do is make sure that he can continue tanking and I keep him healthy. What Festalt needs to do is make sure that he keeps Behemoth's attacks faced in a direction or far enough away that none of our comets shatter so that we have sufficient places to cower behind essentially for Ecliptic Meteor. Right here, we didn't do a great job with rock placement. As you can see, they're all kind of just grouped up in one spot. That's okay if everybody hangs out there, but typically speaking, you want to space them out. North part of the room. Typically speaking, you want to space them out, one in each cardinal direction of the room. This very last room is the probably hardest one. Everybody needs to be on top of their jobs. If Behemoth has immunity on one player, then he will not cast Charybdis or Thunderbolt. Those 2 attacks, in my own opinion, are the biggest and most problematic ones because they have the biggest AoE and have the most persistent effects. The Thunderbolt will give you Thunder Blight, which means it's easier for you to get stunned by other attacks, and nobody wants a giant tornado in this small area. Here's a little awkward. I was restocking health items and Tox ended up getting hit by a large attack. So he ended up having to heal himself there, so that's a whoops on my part for not being faster on the restock and being able to get back faster. Right here, I got caught playing songs when our tank was low, so again, I messed up. The healer really needs to be on top of everybody's health, including his own. Playing the songs isn't as important when you're playing the healer for Behemoth. You really just need to keep on top of everyone's health. The best way to stop Behemoth from casting Charybdis is flashbangs. You can carry 3 crafted flashbangs and 10 flash bugs in your inventory, meaning that every person can carry 13 flash bugs, which is more than enough, especially if you have a tank who keeps grabbing immunity properly. Because if you have one, then Behemoth doesn't cast Charybdis, as I said earlier. This last room, you want to make sure you kind of space out your DPS as well. You need to make sure he drops at least 1 to 2 comets. Otherwise, he'll just Ecliptic Meteor, and you have nothing to hide behind, meaning everybody has to successfully perform the jump emote. At the end of the video, I will show you the timing for that. But other than that, I mean, this fight is basically over. Other than that, though, Tox has gotten a second mouth. For the most part, we're just trying to continue to CC him, so I'm using Slugger, trying to bash his head in, help Sound and Festalt, who keeps putting on his Impact Mantle and the shotgun to KO him. Tox is really the only bladed weapon we have, so his job is mounts and cutting the tail off. Right here, we really got lucky. He gave us a comet, but that was almost too much damage again. So he ended up only getting 1 comet down and then immediately casting Ecliptic. So we got lucky. But yeah, that's basically Behemoth in a nutshell. As far as the jump timing goes for the Ecliptic Meteor, you want to wait until it fully clears it, and the minute it fully clears it, you want to cast your jump emote. A few frames are really important here. It does just take practice. It's kind of an emergency-only situation if you can't get to a comet. Doing it properly will result in a counter that does pretty decent damage. If not, you'll just dodge the attack and not die. A few other ways that you can dodge the Ecliptic Meteor is if you are in the tent actively doing something when it gets cast. Otherwise, it won't let you back into the tent. You can also sit down at the table right before he casts it and eat a meal. Because if you're in the meal animation, you're untargetable as well. But other than that, guys, that's how to Behemoth. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.